Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. With the journey we'll continue, and today we are going to fly from Palma de Mallorca airport into the AJACCIO airport, which is in France. And if you watch my previous video, I uploaded into the educational section of my YouTube channel. Then you can see the VTP procedure and how to fly it visually with LNAV VNAV guidance, so please watch it. And today we are going to fly there and perform the RMP authorization required approach. To be honest to you, I'm not telling the lie to anybody. In real life, I never did the Rmp AR approach, simple because we didn't have established the procedures for this particular type of approaches, and at the time I was flying, these approaches was not so common. So if there are any mistake within this video, and especially the pilots who are really flying the Boeing 737, just let me know if I'm wrong with my explanation. Anyway, I will preset again weather for you, because there was as well a sailing and visibility okay within the real weather, and this is not quite nice for me. I don't like it. But anyway, jump into the cockpit. I did the preliminary for you, so we can make a start to do the pre-flight procedure, and we can start the refueling. Our block fuel for today flight is 6,100. I put 7,000 in case something went wrong and we need to perform a go around. So refueling is in progress. We can go with the scan flow. That's okay. I am on ground power because always read the Jeppesen charts, especially the general part that is written in Palma de Mallorca. They don't like to use the APU, so I will switch it on while we are starting to boarding our passengers. Just go through it. Our cruising level will be 360, and landing altitude will be basically 0. Okay, oxygen tested 100, auto brake, RTO, reset fuel, brakes. Okay, this is fine. We are not flying on WATSIM, so it's okay. This is quite fine. Everything seems to be okay. So we can jump to the FMC and fill the FMC. FMC I put there Palma de Mallorca. We are currently on the stand 107. Last time I flew to the Palma de Mallorca with the classic 737, and we did refueling and continue our journey to Gran Canaria, but it's out of the way anyway. Lima Foxtrot Kilo Juliet, I guess so it was, yes. The preferential runway system here is runway 23 left for arrival and 23 right for departure. Echo Sierra Kilo 101 is our today call sign, and departure is via Easter Point from runway 26 Easter to Alpha. Okay, so put it there. Cruising level 360, 6,000 feet is the transition altitude for us. Cost index is 3.5. No, 5.1. My mistake. Final reserve is FMC reserve is 3.0, and our destination alternate is Fiumicino. Anyway, 24018. ISA deviation was +6 -50. it's okay, so let's prepare to check the light test. Everything is okay with the lights. QNH, we have standard 1013, acceleration altitude 800 feet, which is pre-selected. In case of engine failure, turning to the left directly to the sea and climbing at least 3000 feet. Anyway, flight directors on. Initial climb clearance for our SID was Easter to Alpha, was 5000. Was 5000, and 206 was the radial. No, 236. 236 is the first radial, which we have to follow just after departure, and 236 will be as well the heading, departure heading 236. And later on we can make it enough from the ground. That's it. Regarding to our approach, 24 left, 238. 238, check the oxygen 100%. It's okay, a parking brake set. And now setting, in case of relanding, runway 109.3, 1109.3, here on active side, and Joa VOR 117.7. Yeah, that's it. Okay. 117.7 on standby, and we could put it here right now on the first radial. And after departure, what's important, another now setting, which is NDB 384. Next NDB will be Porto column 401. It's pre-selected. Always set as much possible as you can in your departure. Okay, noise abatement procedure here is pretty non-standard. 1500 feet above the ground level, reduce thrust and accelerate to flaps up speed. I think so. I could check it. Here are the noise abatement. Okay, 1500, reduce power, accelerate to 0 flaps. Retract flaps as needed. After flight level 60, accelerate to 250, and then after flight level 100, accelerate to 280. You see how important is this briefing? Okay, anyway, we have 7000 kilograms, we may release the fuel trucks, and we may start the boarding, so cabin crew refueling is completed. That's quite okay. And yeah, we may start boarding. Start loading baggage as well, start boarding, and start the APU. So, after passing flight level 100, we are going to talk about RMP authorization required approaches. What I saw here, okay, I will tell it later on. What will be our taxi routing? Look at the chart. I don't go through the general part. There should be some routing. Okay, we can make it straight and via Delta and link north to hotel. Oh, let's make it via November 1 because we are too light. It should be fine for us. Okay, start our front cargo compartment. It's unusual. Always start loading airplane with a forward, then aft compartment. Okay, APU is available. APU bus. Check with the good quality. That's fine. Wait 1 minute for stabilize the APU and then put it on bleed. Can see if there is any rain. There is no rain. We can use dry runway conditions for our computation. And shortly we will finish with our loading. Okay, it seems we have all passengers on board. And the baggage loading is as well almost completed. Okay, so make a load sheet. Zero fuel weight is 51.3. Our takeoff weight will be 58,000 kilograms. Leave it 20 kd rate. It's quite okay with us. Trim setting is 6.3. So 6.3 is set. And our V speed, as if we have zero wind condition, I assume is 136. 136 is okay. That's fine. That's perfect. Okay, we may close the doors. Right now we're still on chokes, and yeah, we can see the doors are closed. We can do before start procedure. Once before start procedure is complete, we can check the ground equipment on the left and the right side is clear. We put the transponder into the S mode. Jump seat must be. It's my personal liking. And anti-collision lights on. We can do the engine start procedure and start the engine number 2 as the first one. As I said before, L now from the ground. Stop clock. And just for your couple the autopilot 400, and we'll see if we have some nice view on Palma de Mallorca airport and surrounding. I will cool down a little bit cabin because I think it's too warm. Okay, isolated pack procedure. Start engine number 1. Okay, so starter cut out, flaps 1, and before taxi procedure, watch the needles, split, okay, isolation valve is working, that's fine. We have flaps 1 green light, hydraulic system is okay. Flight controls checked, elevator checked, radar checked, everything is okay. And APU switch off, blank lever display, unit press recall, remove the choke, disconnect the ground personnel from the headset, and now I guess we are ready to go. Left side clear, right side clear, and the engines, put the lights on taxi. And then I will prepare the chart for departure. Start to Alpha. So, once again memorize the departure. At 400 feet I put the autopilot engaged, just for the nice view, and at 1500 I will accelerate the airplane with the thrust reduction. Left side clear, right side clear anyway, and we will retract flaps to minimum clean speed. And once we have minimum clean speed, we wait for flight level 60, or let's say 6000 feet, because it is the transition altitude, and then we will accelerate to 50 and after flight level 100 we will accelerate to en route climb speed. So this is the steps which we are proceeding. Okay, anyway, before takeoff procedure, terrain we have. Before takeoff checklist, flaps 1 green light, stabilizer, trim 6.3 units set, so it's okay. Okay, so as we talked about, we are going via November 1, which is allowed for takeoff intersection. Okay, left side clear, right side is clear. Can put the lights on. Okay, transponder to TARA, and we will keep rolling. Runway 24 right identified, runway heading 236 is checked, takeoff. knots. 80 knots checked. Okay, V1 rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate gear up. Okay, 400 autopilot engage and look at the airport. It's pretty cool and nice. Wow, perfect. As you can see. Okay, we have 1500, so accelerate the airplane. In order to meet our noise abatement requirements. Watch while we are entering to the clouds. Temperature is okay. We don't need the engine anti-ice. And assume we are clear to flight level 150. So I put there 150. We have some showers. As you can see. Flaps up. Okay, we have flaps up, no light. As we said before, keep minimum clean up to 6000 feet or flight level 60. 13 degrees of centigrade, 12, sorry. Still okay with engine anti-ice. And we are out of clouds, so it's okay. More or less. Okay, so 6000 set standard, set and cross checked. We may accelerate into 250. and we have 360. Yeah, I guess 360. We can switch to the another NDB, which is protocolon, in case of we lose our LNAV capability. And we may climb to flight level 360, for example, as a final. So, okay, 360 is right here. And as you can see, we are approaching flight level 100. Reset the minimums. I will put it into VNAV. And lights coming off. We will check the temperature of the cabin. Pressurization is doing well. Temperature is fine, so we don't need to adjust it. And we will wait for smooth establish on the en route climb speed. And according to the chart, we are turning to this NDB, and we can put 059er. 05 number 9 and inbound to Menorca 12.6. And now you can see that we will join the radial 239er, let's say inbound to Menorca VOR. Just to have pre-selected, we may release the cabin. And now let's talk about the RMP approaches. Okay, so guys, I saw many of videos, and RMP approaches are not as simple as it looks like. Remember one thing: the Boeing 737 has barometric VNAV. What does it mean? It does mean that your baro reference source is your altimeter setting, and your altimeter in real life has the temperature error, but in the flight simulator we don't have the temperature error. These RMP approaches, we may divide it into APV baro approach, which is LNAV VNAV approach, or just LNAV approach. In case we are flying LNAV approach, we are flying via minimum descent altitude or via decision altitude, via visual descent point, and at 50 feet of height loose, and we are applying the altitude correction. If you have outside temperature, for example -20 degrees of centigrade, you need to apply the altitude correction, because if you don't apply, you will be low on profile. If the outside temperature is too high, you will be high above the profile. So realize this thing. Okay, if you are, so why I'm telling this? Because if you are flying LNAV VNAV approach, it is called APV baro approach. Once again baro, because it's solely on your barometric setting. You have the temperature range of the chart, in which you can use the chart. If we are now performing, we will be performing at AJACCIO airport RMP approach for runway 20, and in this case, as you can see on the chart, there is clearly stated that baro VNAV is not authorized about 46 degrees of centigrade, because it will be too too steep approach, and as you can see, a flight path angle exceeds 3.5 degrees, about 7 degrees of centigrade. And bar V now uncompensated, which is on Boeing 737, we have uncompensated bar V now, is not authorized below 1 degrees of centigrade. Be please aware of this fact. So these RMP approaches, we can call them GPS approach, RNAV approach, GNSS approach, whatever. It should be unified this year, that it will be clearly stated that there is RMP or Rmp AR approach, What is the difference between these two approaches? The difference is that RMP approach you can basically fly without any restrictions, more or less, and this kind of approaches is approved by many companies, and basically there are the straight-in approaches. Rmp AR approaches, or let's say authorization requires, you need to fulfill some requirements. In our case, the company must be approved to fly the RMP authorization required approaches. The crew must be qualified to fly these approaches, and the airplane must be capable to perform this approach. What does it mean? It does mean that all your systems regarding to this approach must be operative. For example, for RMP approach, you need to have one autopilot flight director systems, only one FMC flight management computer, only one CDU control display unit, and many other systems should be working. Within RMP authorization required, you basically need to double these systems, and your company should have prepared scenarios in case you, during your approach, lose one of these systems, or you can lose the engine, or let's say for example, you need to perform go around for some reason, and so on. And what I can tell the next regarding to authorization required, most of the times this Rmp AR approaches needs to have FMC database which has coded the waypoints, and especially they should have proper software in order to make a curve turns between the waypoints, because all of the approach is making with a turn. So that means that your FNC software must be approved for radius to fixed point, which should be within your FMC software. What are the radius to fix? If you watch the chart, you can see a Kilo Juliet 602 and 603. This is basically not the direct line, but it's curved line. What I can see on this chart, there is nothing stated that radius to fix must be incorporated into your flight management system. On most of the airports, when you are performing authorization required approaches, it's clearly stated that they are using radius to fixed point. Here we don't see it. I don't know why. If you know why, just let me know, leave the comments below. I will be happy to learn something new. But anyway, with this type of approach, please be aware of the fact and do not arm the approach mode, because otherwise you have FATS and a glide path, and that means that we are performing integrated IAN approaches which are not allowed for non-straight-in approaches like this one. If you have standard RMP approach, yes, you can do it via IAN approach and press approach mode, but as you are within radius to fixed point especially, IAN approaches are not valid for you. Okay, so this will be basically we went through all the most important things which is regarding to our approach we are going to fly today. Another important thing is do not recycle the flight directors and follow it all the way down, even if you are visual. Just put the auto throttle off like Boeing recommended procedure. Anyway, we can make a start the preparation for our approach, and we are going via point Varek. If you look at the standard instrument chart, Varek point is here, and from Varek is very simple. Go to initial approach fix, which is Kilo Juliet 602 and to be 6000 feet or below. So I will put it right into the FMC. Here we have the approach. Be aware of the fact that our initial approach fix is 601. It will be this one, and we are proceeding via standard instrument arrival, which is Varek to Foxtrot. And now we are okay. We have 1000 to level off. Vertical speed is more or less okay, so we'll leave the airplane like it is and scroll down the waypoints. And always when we are performing this kind of the approach, you must ensure that all the waypoints are properly here coded. And as you can see, from Foxtrot Kilo Juliet 20, we have 3.6 degree path all the way down to the runway threshold. Here is quite a tricky situation in Flight Simulator, because I don't know why. As I said before, maybe it should be as well in a real airplane, but I don't think so. Here are two waypoints in additional, and it's called RF. I guess it's a radius to fixed points, and these waypoints make your turn not like a straight line, but in a real airplane it should be like this point, and that's it. Because if you can see, your final approach fix is Kilo Juliet 603 right over here, and it's only 2 nautical miles in front of the runway. But you may start your approach phase, which is your FAF is Foxtrot Kilo Juliet 20. It's this point. Okay. But anyway, you can see that between these 2 points, which is 603 and 602, it's a radius to turn arc, which we have this point here. I think it's quite okay. I can check it with Explain and Zibo database, what's written there, because as I said before, I'm not telling lie to you. I never perform the Rmp AR approach, so this is my first approach. I'm not learning right now. I'm just explaining how I will perform this approach right now. Anyway, what we can do, we can put the final approach course, which is 202. Okay, we have 202. As well. We can put our decision altitude. Decision altitude, why? Because all this approach, RMP approaches, must be flown with LNAV VNAV unless it's RMP LNAV approach only. When it is LNAV VNAV approach or RMP AR approach, always fly it with LNAV VNAV. It's mandatory. Okay, so that's why we are using decision altitude, because height lost during go around procedure is almost incorporated into the obstacle clearance height. So we have 637. Now, what is crucial? You need to have exact proper QNH setting. Otherwise, you will be low or high on profile. If you accidentally put there wrong QNH, for example, actual QNH is 1013, and you put QNH 1020, you will be really close to the terrain, and this will lead to a hazardous condition and to control flight into the terrain. So once again, if you are flying RMP approaches, especially authorization required, be aware of the fact that you have to be precise with your actual QNH, what is on your airport. And what is crucial as well, put it into the descent forecast page. We have 1013 because I have default weather. In order to let the flight management computer to compute the proper flight path, because in transition, when you press from standard to QNH, you will be exactly on the profile, not high or not below the profile. So this is set. I will put transition flight level 670 because 6000 feet is or below we have on the point Kilo Juliet 601. So in this case the descent forecast page is filled. We are going to burn 1 ton, so that means our gross weight landing or our landing weight will be 55.7, and I will go for flaps 30 because with flaps 40 it should be quite a challenge while make it short turn into the runway heading. Okay, so I will go in this case for flaps 3 because as you can see on the taxi charts, we have landing distance available 2070 meters because of displaced threshold. So it's quite short runway, so I will definitely use auto brake 3 and I will use the thrust reverse and cool down the engines once we are on the stand. The next point, what is important here, be aware of the fact that there is a steep angle. So I will put at this waypoint, which is India Kilo Juliet 20 its intermediate fix. I will put there speed 160 or below, in order just to be configured at least gear down flaps 15. The next important things, it's required navigation performance. It's point 3. How we can know what is our actual and what is our required navigation performance? We can do it like this way. Just watch on the navigation display. Regarding to your phase of flight, you will see your required navigation performance, and you can see your actual navigation performance. If you put the position and you zoom it, you will see that there are some points, and these points are, for example, this one is IRS, your IRS 1 position, second IRS position, this is your GPS 1 position, GPS 2 position, and so on and so on. And go to the progress page, and especially go to the progress page number 4, and you can see that for your approach, particular approach, your required navigation performance should be 0.3 nautical miles circle. Okay. Regarding to vertical navigation performance and actual performance, ICAO says 125 feet. Another source of information says 75 feet. I will leave it like this. Okay, so we have discussed this so far. What we can put is our approach speed, and our approach speed will be 135 knots, just to remember. Be aware of the fact that if I put the wind correction, for example 10, our approach speed within the VNAV will be 140. If I leave it like 5, it will be 135. If I put 20, it will be 150. Okay, so be precise with your wind correction, because this source is going to your VNAV, and your bug from VNAV it's going to your VNAV bug into your airspeed indicator. I think that we have discussed everything so far, and what we can do, press recall, checked everything is okay. We have holding fill available overhead, for example, let's say this intermediate fix. We have holding fill for 1 hour, that's quite okay. We can easily make 2 go rounds without any further problems. Airplane is okay, and as you are flying RMP approach, do not put the ILS frequency here. Always set it whatever you would like to set there, but not the ILS frequency. So this, I hope it was clear enough so far, and we may proceed to direct point. So direct to direct, may execute it and confirm it. And when we can check now, it's a use of RMP runway 20. What does it says? It says that the RMP for runway 20 authorization required approach procedure is designed according to PBN navigation specifications in accordance with ICAO Annex 6. Any aircraft operator must get specific approval prior to operate this approach procedure. that was what I was talking about. The first airplane must be approved. That means that it must have appropriate FMS database for this kind of the approach, and all the systems for Rmp AR approaches must be operative, and your crew must be qualified, and you have to be approved as an operator. So you have to establish the procedures like engine fail procedure during the approach, bulk landing during the approach, system fail procedure during the approach, and so on and so on and so on. So, as I said before, always read the charts, what is depicted over there, if you are allowed to fly there or if you are not allowed to fly to this airport. If you can see in the general parts, it's clearly stated: the examination by captains or training with a flight simulator fitted with an approved specific visual display is recommended. So if you are a serious flight operator, prior to flying to this airport, you will send your flight crews to full flight simulator with visual scenery and to train them, especially this particular approach and this particular airport. Another point is, the operators using aircraft fitted with more than 30 passenger seats, be aware, seats. It doesn't matter that we have one passenger on board. We have 140 seats, so we have to submit the documents including general operating instructions and definitions for takeoff with all engines running and with one engine out, operational limitations and weather conditions associated to the civil aviation authorities. And all operators must prescribe a precise bulk landing instructions for runway 02. So if we are performing another approach with this approach for runway 02, we must establish our bulk landing procedures. What is the bulk landing? Again, watch my educational video. There is difference between misapproach procedure and bulk landing procedure. So, I hope it was clear enough, and we will wait, and I will try to perform the approach. And as I said before, I did many of Rmp approaches, but I did no Rmp authorization required approach so far. So this is the first approach I perform. So if you have more information, just leave the comment below, and I will be really happy to learn something new. Okay, anyway, we have high cost index. That means our descent speed will be quite fast. And due to the cloud conditions, I will put turbulent penetration airspeed here to 80 indicated, and we are 20 nautical miles before the top of descent, so according to the normal procedures we should start our descent, let's say flight level 200. Regarding to the cold temperature correction, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and as well Explain 11 doesn't simulate the temperature correction error. So in this case, be aware of the fact that your outside end temperature has no effect to your altimeter. So do not add any temperature corrections or to your altitudes within the final approach fix or in intermediate and initial approach fix, because it makes no sense. But in real life you have to do it. Okay, and I will show the picture how it looks like if you are doing RMP approaches and you set wrong QNH and you do not apply the temperature correction. But once again, this is valid in real life, not for flight simulator purposes. Okay, I'm sleeping, level change, a little bit go down. And what I expected is not smooth landing, it will be quite hard landing. Because I don't want to overshoot the runway and dive the airplane into the sea. So if we can see, our actual navigation performance is quite okay. Sometimes it may be depicted on the chart that the only source of your information for your flight management computer should be GPS, and you can check it with the nav status. You can see the nav status that which source are currently using, and now options number 2, if we are going to use, or let's say in the chart that is depicted that GPS only source, so we need to uncheck all this and leave it on GPS. Okay, so we'll put this off and leave it on GPS. Okay, go down. Flight low 100, let's say. Fasten belts on. And we are approaching Varex point. There was no limitations of the altitude. If you would like to be more precise, always check minimum off-road altitude within your operation flight plan if you don't have air traffic controller. In this case, but we are over the sea, I'm pretty sure that we are okay. So I can go down to 6000, and once again your QNH must be exactly match the QNH conditions at your destination airport, because it's crucial for our glide path computation. Let's say for our uncompensated baro VNAV. Because I saw so many videos on YouTube, and it was completely misunderstanding, and the guys was talking about that Boeing 737 has compensated baro VNAV. No, it's not true. Your source of this VNAV is your current altimeter setting once you are on QNH. And in real life this contains temperature error. That means that you can see on that Rmp approach chart on ELNA VNAV temperature range in which you are allowed to fly. Okay, as you can see, I'll put it into the VNAV, and as you can see we are approaching flight level 100. Aircraft should start decelerating 240 below 100, in our case 10,000. Okay, he suddenly reverts to VNAV speed, so we can go with a speed breakdown to catch the glide again. In Zibo 737 you have two options to have common VNAV or basic VNAV. So you can choose whatever you would prefer, but with PMDG you have common. Okay, lights coming on. Okay, and watch, we are entering the clouds. Watch always the temperature. Do not forget to put the engine anti-ice on. That's why in descent forecast page, if you know, for example, from significant weather chart, what will be your altitude, or let's say flight level and altitude, you can put it here. Because your idle thrust setting with engine anti-ice will be higher. As you can see, we are entering the cloud, we can put the engine anti-ice on, and now you can see an idle is going a little bit up. That means that we will be higher on the profile in this case. Okay, anyway, we are somehow avoiding the clouds. and we are close to the temperature of 10 degrees of total air temperature. That's quite okay. And now we have to be careful because the things are going really quickly. Okay, we can go down into 3000 feet altitude by QNH 1013. We are in cloud, but we have 11 degrees of centigrade, so we don't need to use the engine anti-ice. And if you look at the chart, we are going through the valley. This is one high obstacle terrain, and this is another one. We are going through the valley. So it could be some let's say mechanical turbulence during this phase of the approach. So we have to be careful and we have to be prepared enough. Okay, we are approaching to the airport. What I can do, but do not do it in real life, leave this one off, put the terrain inhibit in order to not have the warning disturb us. Okay, we may start the deceleration. I will use the speed brakes. Because within this 5 miles, let's say 7 miles, I would like to be pretty stable with at least gear down flaps 15 at this point. Okay, stow the speed brakes and put flaps 1. He should keep the VNAV path. Sorry, airplane is in English. She should keep the flight path. Flaps 5. And according to the chart, we can go down to 2600 feet. It's the minimum. But we have mandatory 3000 here, so I will... Anyway, we have in FMC until this point 3000 feet. Okay, is my mistake. I forget to put the speed brake stowed position. It's unprofessional from my side. Okay, anyway, gear down, flaps 15, arm the speed brake, cabin crew landing position, and now we are fully focusing on what are we doing. Exactly. So 3000 feet we are approaching. We can put our decision altitude, which is 700 feet. And approach logic tell us that below 2700 feet we can revert it to the misapproach altitude. It's again 3000 feet. I hope we do not have the VNAV altitude. Okay, it starts a little bit rainy. Okay, flaps 25. And as we are starting descending, it's right now, we can put flaps 30. I don't want to let the airplane accelerate during descent. Okay, I will preset missed approach heading, which is 211. As you can see, the steep descent, it's 3.6 degrees. 3.6 and airplane won't decelerate with idle thrust setting. It's a pretty challenge. But anyway. Okay. Missed approach altitude 3000 feet is set, and in this case we do not recycle flight director switches and just put the auto throttle off once autopilot is disengaged and strictly follow the flight directors. 1000. Okay, we can do it like now, manually. So autopilot disengaged, auto thrust disengaged, and now we have to follow the flight directors. Exactly.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Okay, minimums runway inside landing. We have 4 reds, so we are a little bit below, but flight director is showing us okay. But VNAV path, it's shows us that we are below the profile. Anyway, this could be the discrepancy between the scenery, puppy, and okay, we have crosswind from our right side. I will disregard this puppy indication because I think that it's wrong.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. We're safely on the ground. Using full reverse. 60 knots, closing the levers, thrust reversers. Stow the speed brake, and manual braking, and start the timing to cool down the engines. This we can close. A non-standard will start the APU. Okay, we are leaving the active runway. Lights off, taxi lights coming on, strobe lights off. And after landing procedure, stabilizer back to 5 units. For the next flight. APU is available. Check the quality. APU on bus. So we can pick up stand number 1, or we can pick up the stand number 2. I will use stand number 2, just for my patient. Okay. So we will see how close we are with the wing tips near to this airplane. I'll check it on the ground if there is any marking. Sorry for that. I think that we are okay. So parking brakes set on. 3 minutes already passed, so we can shut down the engines. Stop the block time. I forget to stop the flight time. It's my bad. Anyway, it should be stored on ACARS. Okay, anti-collision lights off. Hydraulic panels off. ERS is off. Off. Stowed. We can go to services. The parking brake. Watch the temperature is okay. And we can ask for stairs, for passenger bus, and for baggage unloading. So guys, that's it. I hope you will like the video. Another airport which should be I'm still not deciding whether to pick up the Skiathos or Samos airport. Basically, Skiathos airport it's not quite challenge. There is only one problem, there is a short runway. But Samos airport it's quite a big challenge because there are visual turns and short base for short final, and it could be tricky, especially with the westerly configuration for runway 09er. So I will see what will be the next video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time soon. Bye bye.